It's always so loud. How does it take the GPS to kick in? So, there are things that you're not supposed to do, but as long as it's not hurting anybody in particular, you let it slide. Like when it comes to the trees like this, you're supposed to give anything along the sidewalk 8 feet of clearance. And as I walk under here, I'm a sub 6 foot. Like anybody who's over 6 feet tall would have got snagged, hit by that just now. It pays to be short, but all these trees are blocking the sidewalk. I like it because I like the shade. Like I said, I'm a little fella. But a taller fella would have a hard time. And there's this. It goes into the category of saw something I wasn't supposed to. Won't mention it, but he's using something that can be easily hacked. And again, a regular key can be hacked. Just not as easily. It requires physical access and all that other good stuff. But what I was trying to say was, just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do a thing. The world is a nuanced and complicated place. It should take a long time to do an assessment before acting on anything. There's a rich and complicated story behind every situation. At the same time, sometimes you gotta know how to turn off your empathy because it could be interfering with your objective decision making. I can't believe my GPS hasn't kicked in yet. It's a problem. What's going on with this thing? Could be something wrong with the satellite itself. There we go. Man, it took a long time to lock onto that transponder. they're just putting up another box. Siempre trabajando. So it was the original Latin, semper labor. I think there's another word for work. I just can't think what it was, but semper labor. I think that's 8 feet of clearance. It's DISD property, so they would hopefully be on top of all of that. That's what it's supposed to look like. Well, your vegetation is not supposed to obstruct or block the view, and you still get the shade, but at the same time you got the clearance. Think about how poor this school is. They still got the same boiler and chiller unit from, I want to say that thing's probably been around since it was old when I was a kid and my friends went to this school here. I didn't go to this school. So this I could call in, but I'm not going to because I can get by it. However, I probably need to call it in because kid on a wheelchair, grandpa in a wheelchair, somebody goes by and they get clipped on those branches. It's another one. Keep meaning to call this in, I just don't. I never realized how wide clover is. So Strong Towns talks about that. Like that kind of design encourages speeding. So the residents of Clover wanted to make their street a little bit safer. Not a little bit, make it safer, period. They would do something that would encourage a narrowing of the road. Sorry, I'm doing two things at once here. It's nice in here now. I mean, they really did a good job of clearing that out. One phone call. Not phone call, that was just a ticket I wasn't going to push too hard on. They even did this side. I gotta call that in. All right, I want to call that in. So someone is dumping their leaves in here, and I guess something's picking it up, and just what that is. Put a ticket in on it, and could take care of it myself. I might just do that. Get nice and dirty. I think I need to invest in a pitchfork. A pitchfork for hauling, for stabbing in and pulling stuff like that out. For riding when I'm upset with my city. And just in case Jason shows up. Best weapon in the game, man. Must be having an open house. Parked in the wrong direction. Trying to show that he's got a classic convertible Mercedes. That's the one with the hard, is it pulled back? I can't remember. All these people parked wrong. Government plates. Huh. I mean, there's a government tag on there. We got some serious people over here. Yeah, really loves Buicks. So what I'm trying to figure out is, if they did an engineering report, if it's okay for this retaining wall to be buckled out like this. Like it's pushing, and I don't know, maybe someday it'll just collapse. What's amazing is they didn't put any rebar in this retaining wall. But it hasn't cracked on this, well, it has started to crack on this part too. It's the only thing keeping it in place. Anyway. That's weird that light's on during the day. I guess the sensor's broke. You know, the funny thing is I see all the Scooby-Doo stuff and these days where everybody's feeling nostalgic, but nobody brings up Scrappy-Doo. I guess there are no Scrappy-Doo fans. I know as a kid I found him annoying. I was like, who? Oh damn, they got the tile up. He wants $560,000 for that. People are kind of stupid, huh? Kinda. Woo! Tapioca! Man, I never thought I'd never see anybody paint their car tapioca. That's crazy. Like, you reserve that for like countertops and ovens and stoves. Never seen anybody paint a car that color. Definitely stands out. Yeah! Get fired up! Yeah, I need to repaint all of this. I know what'll happen. I'll put in another thing and they'll give me some spiel about reflective level B. Anyway, I was talking about earlier about clover. It's wide and it encourages people to speed up. So all sorts of different things they can do to discourage the speeding. Clover is actually one of the streets that you could probably put curb outs. You can pinch the end there and extend the sidewalk. That forces people to slow down when they get to the intersection. You could put speed bumps in. People say it's the lazy way, but actually sometimes it's the only thing that works. It's the only thing you got in the toolkit. One brave soul. Like I said, that's what I dream on a Yana could be. But it's got potential. It'll take you all the way over here to Valley Ridge, take Valley Ridge all the way up to... No, Valley Ridge just lets out on Marsh. They did these streets so confusing. I got an idea where he's headed. Just trying to figure out what cross street he's using. Maybe he's looping back around to Park, and then you take Park to Matador. Weave all the way through, get to Bowman. Take Bowman up to Walnut Hill. Somehow get across Walnut Hill. I guess you got to get off the bike and go through it. And then go up Cromwell. And if he keeps hitting Cromwell, eventually he's going to hook up with the North Haven Trail if that's the plan. Take the North Haven Trail all the way over to 75. And then after that, it's dealer's choice. You go down to White Rock, you can get a pretty good ride in. With this neighborhood, I see him going down here and I was like, boy, that's bold, man. Especially when you see mess like this. There's no light. Okay, there is a light right there. Okay, so that's where they could put one. But I mean, how's anybody going to get through all of this? Oh, damn it. Oh, thank God. Here. Are they finally fixing this? That's what I want right there. I want that. I'll try to install that. I'm gonna need a crew. I can't do that myself. I'm gonna need a crew. Like, he's got it bent a certain way, and I was like, oh, you can't get it in. That person got through somehow. And going too fast. I know that the maximum allowed speed limit on a residential street is 30 miles an hour, but looking at it from an international point of view, it shouldn't be 30 miles per hour, it should be 30 kilometers, which is 18 miles an hour. They've got traffic studies that show that at 18 miles an hour, that's enough braking distance in case something jumps out in front of you, and you're aware, and it keeps you from tearing up the streets and everything else. We got traffic engineers in Amsterdam, in Brussels, Belgium, all over the EU that pretty much come to the agreement that 18 miles an hour in residential areas. That's probably not even 30 right there. I'm gonna get a radar gun. I'm gonna get a radar gun. I say that, but it'll probably be like $600. Like, $600? Like, I think I'm gonna get something in it. Like, I was gonna get a weather station with an air quality monitor, and they were saying $400. Now I'm sitting there thinking, you know what? That's probably a good investment. But the radar guy, I can't justify spending $600 on something I might use once or twice and then get bored with it. I won't get bored with it. And no, I'm not worried about getting prostate cancer. I pretty much know that there's other cancers in my future. Okay, there's a light there too. Yeah, we can do this. I already put in a ticket about the reflective part. They cited some study talking about, we'll do an assessment. They said, no, they said, Mr. Young, and then they started citing regulations. We usually resurface the roads every 3 years, or based on, you know, current need. If the street doesn't come up to the level of reflectivity grade B, then we will go ahead and repaint the thing. And I was like, okay. You go do your assessment. I just know that it's daytime and I can't see the stripe. So what does that say about night? There's somebody going about 18 miles an hour. Are they? Maybe 22. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. All right. No dumping. Oh, I just now noticed the bullet cam. So that's what was oh wow, that is not good. There's rebar showing. Got a GPS coordinate lock on it. Got a pole with the GLN, FLN. Well, there's no, it looks like they were gonna put a light up there and they just, okay, there's one over here, that's why. One of these days I'm just gonna go walking. What I need to do is just get in. I need to relent and just give in, and it's the same thing. But yeah, I need to give in. That tugged my hat just now. 625. I need to give in, then just hop in my car and go drive to a nice neighborhood. Still wearing all of this, so that they know that I'm not some kind of threat, of course. And then just walk without having to see anything. But I guarantee you, that's already happened. I went up to like Straight Lane, up in the rich man's territory, and I saw all kinds of stuff that was wrong. Parking on an unimproved surface. Hazardous sidewalk. Look, there's a perfect example right there. Here's the light. I can't, like the stripe, you can barely see it in the daytime here. I got sun and no clouds, and you can hardly see it. Oh wow, look at that big giant pothole. Yeah, I see all of this. Anyway, wow. So look, nothing. You can't see it. Does that a grade B reflectivity? I don't know. That needs to be redone also. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's pretty bad too. A lot of hassle suddenly showing up. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Okay. You see how the curb's all chunked out over there? It's supposed to replace all this. And instead they did that shitty, that right there, the fucking patch job. And the guy that came out here, they were talking about, they said, we normally don't fix the streets. He said, we go out and we do the ADA curbs. They do the ramps. But there's such a backlog of repairs. Howdy. There's such a backlog of repairs that they had to send out like the D crew just to give us this quick and dirty patch job. They're still working on that one. That one was the worst, and of course it was because there's always a guy parked over there. So they had to fix that whole thing because the car sitting on there had completely pressed down and broke up the side, the concrete. Look at that, more curve that's all chewed up. And then of course there's this sidewalk that's just, it's got awful. Why haven't I sent a ticket in about that? Oh ho ho ho. Don't start, don't test me. I sent in 3. Before I even knew what I was doing, way back in like 2015, I was sending in a request about this. I say, hey, what's going on with the sidewalks? And Dallas gives me its typical canned response. Well, you know, it's really the homeowner's responsibility. These are the people that they talk about in every, they say most families can't afford a $500 ER visit or whatever it is. And see, like here, they did a lot of work because these guys always have cars parked. Look at that. That is every definition of a dangerous sidewalk or hazardous sidewalk. I'm supposed to call that in, and then they come in with an asphalt patch and they lay that over there to keep people from tripping. But every time I call in now, it's like, well, you know, that's really the homeowner's responsibility. Granted, you might be right, but in the interim, you're supposed to put something down there. They didn't. Anyway, most of these people can't afford a $500 medical emergency, and you're sitting there asking them to, okay, so that thing is leaking oil. Yeah. So anyway, you can't afford a $500 medical emergency. How the hell are they going to afford $2,800 worth of concrete? And, oh my God, what are they doing over there? Did I put in a... Or is that a fire? No, that's construction. I don't have time to be a curious bitch. Just have to leave it.